Yeah. And do you think that it has the same, context that we normally think about freedom of speech, where you can say whatever you want to, as long as, there's some really fine line between making a point and inciting to violence, that sort of thing, or hate speech, as it were. Do you think that same thing applies to art? Like, you say whatever you want, but you can't say this, or do you think there should be no limitations, or maybe more limitations? I don't.
Yeah, I did a QEP lecture on ethics in contemporary art, and that really pushed the boundaries. Like, several examples of using live animals that someone was tattooing on the surface of live animals, right? And then they would hold the animals on a farm and feed them and carry them. But then once the animal died, then they would do the taxidermy, right, on it. But then a lot of people get squirmy because it's like you're tattooing a live animal who doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But everything is branded in our world, right? T-shirts that we're given or we purchase, we're walking billboards.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And so in a weird way, in an interesting way, in a completely different way, the same concept is applied, but makes people very uncomfortable because the rights for animals and, PETA, all that stuff is coming in, right? So at first it's like, oh, but then when you really think about the concept, and so it changes in the making, but do they have the right to make it, right? So then it becomes an ethical question. Everything has consequences. Some people are going to completely lash out. And what do you do, right? So there's lots of, that's probably one of the team examples that I had on the lecture. But there's, anyone can make anything, but there's consequences, or upsetting someone, or